Hey scrappers, if you're looking to figure out what materials you should sell this week or hold this week, now is the time to do it. Our weekly report is going to give you that information, up-to-date market news, pricing. Let's get right into it and we'll talk about it inside. Hey scrappers, Tom. It is February 15th, 2023. Hope everyone is doing well. What do we want to talk about with the markets? Well, we have a little movement the last few days, but kind of in a negative way. One thing that we did do, we posted a members only video for everyone to see last week. So if you haven't had a chance to see what some YouTube members see from us, please check that out. Not only are we posting videos weekly, we're posting these tips that can help you, long term. So if you become a member, you get a lot of these tips, either before other people hear them or, without other people hearing them. So check those out. Markets, copper down 27 cents per pound in the last week. Why? I actually just answered a question on YouTube and someone said, why are the market prices down? And I responded with 4 different words: fuel, China, supply, demand. And those 4 words can really encapsulate what's going on. In a long-term perspective, I still think copper prices are going up. I still think we're going to hit $5 a pound for copper, right? But on a week-to-week perspective, it's just going to change. That's just what happens. Stock prices change. Fuel prices change, commodities prices change. I mean, egg prices change. Everyone's talking about eggs up 70% year over year. Prices of commodities change with the supply and demand and the fuel costs. So that's going to be a reason that we really kind of see some of these prices affected. Now, one thing that I did read, and I talked about this inside of the steel and the ferrous section, was talking about the supply of steel in Turkey, the supply of steel out of that region, that is going to be dampened in the next few weeks, because of the horrible earthquake that happened last week. What we don't know is how the prices are going to be affected. And let me explain. Here we have the price of steel. Let's say it's $200 a ton on average right now. Well, if you take a big part of the market out, which is Turkey buying, shiploads and barges of scrap steel, and they're not buying because they're now going to help focus on rebuilding their infrastructure and really cleaning up the disaster that happened, we might see a little bit of a lack of demand out of Turkey. What does that mean? That means that that supply needs to go somewhere, right? Scrap yards are going to need to move it somewhere. Where that somewhere is might be inundated with additional orders and not be able to take it. That pushes steel prices down. So am I expecting the steel prices go down the next month or so? We're going to have to see, because the area where the steel is received in Turkey wasn't affected like the residential areas were, but you don't know how that reaction is. So that is something that I'm going to look for when it comes to the steel prices over the next few weeks going into March 2023. Now, the copper prices, I still think that they're going to be strong. You're going to have these dips, and I don't really get bothered by them. And I tell people all the time, when you sell as you get material, you don't have to worry about the prices. But if you're hoarding material, saving your material, right, then you have to watch these markets a little closer. And that's why IceCrap comes in with our prices, with our averages, with our recommendations on whether you should hold or sell material every single week. Sometimes those recommendations change, but what we try to do is be consistent with what the market is doing. So, check those things out in our weekly report. We have a link below. This way you can check the weekly report, see some other things that I may have missed during these weekly videos, and you can even go back a couple of videos and see some of the other things that we've talked about to kind of lead us to where we are here, February 2023. So nickel prices have risen. We've seen 316 stainless prices, which is not something that you're going to get every day, but we have seen those prices approaching $1 per pound on the scrapyard selling side. So that's really strong. 304 stainless prices, which we don't talk about often, has seen a very nice increase of about 15 to 20% this year. We've seen some prices in the 40 to 45 cent range. That's a really positive thing when looking at some of the stainless prices moving forward. You might have a little bit of an uptick if you've been holding on to that. I do not expect it to go to the 80 to 90 cent range like we saw a year and a half ago, but at least kind of where the markets are today. 40 to 50 cents a pound for regular stainless steel. And that could be stuff like old grills, That could be things that you get at residence. Most household items that are made of stainless are made of two types, either magnetic stainless, which is called a 410 series or a 400 series, or a non-magnetic stainless, which is a 300 series. So, of course, use your best friend, the magnet, to let you know what's going on there. But one really nice bright spot is the aluminum markets. The aluminum prices really have seen a 15 to 20 cent rise this year. And we've posted a lot of videos in the past talking about grades, talking about, prepared aluminum, 6061 aluminum, what extruded is versus actual grades. And those might be something that you really want to focus on. I was talking to another scrapyard owner yesterday, and he focused on taking apart aluminum electric motors because he could sell the cases and then sell the copper and the steel, opposed to a steel case motor. And he also said that he looks out for certain grades or types of aluminum that he can cut and upgrade to sell to mills. So a lot of people will take their regular aluminum, they'll just all mix it into a barrel, they'll send it out. This is where learning about the markets, learning about the different grades through the iScrap app, through our online videos and our picture tutorials on our website, and then asking your scrapyard when you show up with those materials separated, if you did it to their liking and what the price upgrade is. And I'll give you an idea. Sheet aluminum is like 45 cents a pound today. If you upgrade some of your material to 6061, 6063, and your scrapyard actually buys it correctly, it could be a 20 to 30 cent upgrade, right? So I think 20 to 30 cents per pound upgrade. I don't know if I said percent, sorry, but it could be a 20 to 30 cent per pound upgrade. That's huge. That's you have a few hundred pounds of that stuff. That's an easy $100 just by knowing how to sort and separate it. And if you can't tell 6061 from 6063, who cares? You might be able to mix those together, get the lower price, which would be the 6061 price, and still make more money. So that's just another thing that can happen on the markets. Another thing that I heard last week or so, we did see Russia cutting their oil production by 5%. We are expecting to see the OPEC countries cutting their production. So we do expect to see fuel prices rising. I read an article saying that they're predicting by early summer, June, July, gas prices on a national average over $4 per gallon again. So what does that mean? We're going to see more expensive transportation costs again. And one of the bad parts of the fuel prices that went up so drastically in 2021 and 2022 is that a lot of these carriers, a lot of these shipping companies, these trucking companies, they raised their freight costs. And even though diesel prices did go up, now they're back down. They never decreased their freight costs. What does that mean? If the prices go up again, even though their markets probably were the same to where they were when they increased them, you could possibly see another increase in freight rates. That's going to affect groceries, gas, scrap being moved, yourself moving scrap. So these are other things that we look for in the markets that are affected on a worldwide basis because commodities, such as oil and copper, are traded worldwide. Now, a second thing, talking about worldwide commodities, is the potential huge tariffs that might be getting imposed on Russia. Why is that important? Russia exports a lot of palladium and a lot of platinum, which go into the catalytic converters, as well as a lot of nickel scrap that goes into the stainless and other items. We might start to see large tariffs imposed on Russia on some of these metals. I even heard someone floating out there 200%, right? What does that mean? That you're going to be less likely to buy material from Russia because their markets are going to cost more. So they're only going to be able to be directed or funneled into one area. That may make the other metals that are out there, especially recycled goods, more valuable. We might start to see the platinum prices increasing, the palladium prices increasing, which of course will help the catalytic converter market, which has been hurt over the last month and a half. We've seen the prices of catalytic converters down 10 to 15%. And even though over at rrcats.com, we lock you in for 10 business days on your prices, 10, 15% down over a month and a half is a lot. Copper prices might be down 25 cents. week over week, but you're only talking about 3%, 4%. So 15% is a big number, especially when you're talking about an average catalytic converter price going from 160 to 140, 142 bucks. Those are big changes. So these are things that we're looking for. And of course, you can check a lot of these prices online. You can see a lot of the different averages. We have them posted through the app itself. So if you haven't downloaded it, download it today. Of course, you can check it on the website as well. But this gives you an idea. In next week's report, we're going to be doing a little Q&A, asking some questions or looking for some questions to kind of be shot to us. So look out for that. And the week after, the first week of March, we'll be back to our regular weekly reports. But we're going to pre-record next week's just because we're not going to be around with trade shows to go to. So we want to let you know what's going on a Q&A basis, and hopefully that'll garnish some new ideas for videos, some new ideas for topics for us to talk about, and we'll talk to you about them afterwards. Today is Wednesday, February 15th, 2023. We appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you click below to read the recap of our weekly report. Follow us on YouTube. If you're looking for more information on scrap, become a YouTube member. Until next week, scrappers, I'll scrap you later. Thanks for checking out this scrap video. For more exclusive scrap video content, please become a YouTube member of our channel today. Thank you, and I'll scrap you later.